I never saw this post in a very favorable light, but when I found I was to be attacked in so unprepared a state by so powerful an army and artillery, nothing but the hopes of relief would have induced me to attempt its dent. For I would either endeavor to escape to New York by rapid marches from Gloucester's side, immediately on the arrival of General Washington's troops at Williamsburg, or I would, notwithstanding the disparity of numbers, have attacked them in the open field, where it might have been just possible that the fortune would have favored the gallantry of the handful of troops under my command. But being assured by your Excellency's letters that every possible means would be tried by the Navy and Army to relieve us, I cannot think myself at liberty to venture upon either of those desperate attempts.
The hopes of aid coming for General Cornwallis, the general who led the British troops, would soon plummet and be crushed, as he will soon find that there are no reinforcements coming. Francois, the leader of the Frenches fighting for George Washington, started his departure from St. Domingo to go towards the Chesapeake Bay with the assurance from a spy that Cornwallis had chosen Yorktown to be the location of his new base. Washington decided this was the time to act and ordered Lafayette, a French military officer, and his 5,000 troops to wait for Cornwallis's escape from Yorktown. With American troops waiting by land and the French naval fleet waiting by sea, the British would be surrounded with no escape. They would have to fight their way out of this situation. When Cornwallis and his men arrived at Yorktown, they had sprung the trap that the colonies had set and were completely surrounded. The casualties on both sides for this battle were light. Between the French and the colonists, there were 88 killed and 301 wounded. Although the death rates were low for the Continental Army, the British did not escape so lucky. The British suffered with 156 deaths, 326 wounded, and 70 missing. A devastating obstacle occurred for the British when the British Army was hit with a malaria outbreak. This malaria outbreak would render less than half of their forces useless for being able to fight and defend their positions with the force needed to withstand the Continental Army. October 14th, 1781 was the day that the Continental Army fought and defeated the last lines of defense that the British Army had. The British finally wished to talk to the Americans and French Army on terms of surrender, having a British officer waving a white flag. Cornwallis swallowed his pride and surrendered to Washington in the field of Yorktown, which is how the battle got the name, the Battle of Yorktown. George Washington stood strong as the War for Independence finally came to an end. On October 19, 1781, the Articles of Capitulation was signed, finalizing that the British had been defeated and has accepted the fact of their defeat. That day, thousands of soldiers from the British Army were taken and sent to become prisoners. General Cornwallis pled that he could not attend the formal surrender ceremony because he was ill. General Washington, feeling disrespected and insulted that Cornwallis did not come to the ceremony, and sent General Charles O'Hara, his second-in-command, to carry out Cornwallis's swords to the Continental Army commanders, including the French commanders, refused to accept the sword. To accept the sword, Washington instructed Benjamin Lincoln, the Major General for the Continental Army, to accept it for him.